up and running. A very quick update for you if you're at home as well. Don't forget the other matches are going on in Group A as well. We're following Group B here on the mainstream, but Group A is ongoing. I can tell you that OG won the opening game against Wings in that one. Game 2 is underway.
Yeah, that game was
on the second stream.
That game was not close, I think.
No, it was not. It was a stomp. Let's not dress it up in any other way.
Western Dota, pretty good.
It is pretty good. We haven't had a chance actually to talk about the whole what happens when teams come to China. I know we talked about it a bit yesterday off screen. You guys obviously won DAC in 2015.
Yeah.
Secret won Shanghai Major last year. What is it about Western teams that come to China and dominate? Why don't the Chinese teams win the Chinese Dota?
I mean, it's I don't know.
Too much pressure?
I don't know. Maybe they show up when it matters the most. You know, TI
TI.
TI. Oh,
Only
China.
in even years though.
No, I mean even in the other years, China always does pretty well.
Did they always have like a couple high placements, like a couple teams top 6, I would say, but they, with the exception of like what Wings and TI4, obviously they haven't like had. I feel like they haven't had a lot of like top 2. I don't know. I feel like they're do okay, but like other tournaments they don't play super well. Yeah, that one was good too. Yeah, I guess they have some good placements sometimes, but it's not. I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not like one team will just like.
It's
stay around
it's not
and
Dota
stay
1
consistent
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a whole different thing.
Thankfully, some would say.
I mean, depends if you're a Chinese fanboy or not.
Well, no, true. I mean, I'm a Dota fanboy, so just the fact that we get all these different regions winning and going up and down, and different teams coming to the fore and dropping off, I think it's more exciting.
For sure, and it's it's all about who you can relate to and who you're a fan of. So
yeah, definitely true.
Yep.
Say one really good thing about the Chinese scene as a whole is they always have a lot of good teams. Like they have like 6 teams that you could follow if you really want to.
It's much deeper, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely feels deeper. Maybe they've been roster swapping a lot more heavily the last 2 or 3 years rather than like that consistent like these 3-4 guys play with each other always. So there's been a lot more dicing up in that area, but
and some transfers as well.
There have been a little bit of money changing hands.
Well, you got to think like they're all on like they all live on like the east coast of China, Shanghai, or somewhere around here. So it's like in the West, we're so much more spread out.
It's like, do I want to live in Sweden or Germany
Greece
or America?
Or America.
Yeah, we have so many teams that have like players in the same countries, or at least like they stay within Europe, kind of a thing.
Not to mention language barriers and stuff like that.
Yep.
Must be
very true. Very true. So let's get into our second draft. We've had 3 picks so far. It is a little bit of a different draft. In fact, it's a totally different draft this time round. Jug instead of a phase 2 is out in the first phase. We've got a Magnus as well and a Nyx Assassin.
So the Magnus Jug 1-2, basically they got second pick there. So it's kind of a surprise combo in some ways, just because Jug's going to farm so stupidly fast this game with Empower. Mag got a nerf again. His RP is always 120-second cooldown now instead of like 120 down to 100, and he also got a base attack time nerf, which is going to mean very, very slightly slower attack speed. So kind of inconsequential, but ultimately Jug will farm really fast this game. Early
Venge pick, up against Mag Jug, worrying about the farm speed not being able to keep up. Maybe that is kind of almost. Maybe they're looking at some sort of like early game push. Where they put the pressure on.
It'd work well with Nyx too, because normally if you have like a Centaur, you gotta wait for Blink Dagger, but Nyx is just ready to go with a couple levels. So
yeah.
It's especially because Mag usually does this hybrid of like jungling as well. Sometimes it's just not ready to fight until a bit too late.
He wants mana boots and he wants a magic wand and
Blink Dagger if possible.
Yeah, Blink Dagger is preferred, but he might not be there at 12, 13 minutes sometimes, depending on how his game goes.
Strength heroes are the first ban material, I guess.
Abaddon's. Yeah, that hero's fun right now.
He came out of nowhere too, kind of like there was just a long period. I don't know. I feel like 4 months ago, everybody was just talking crap about Abaddon, thinking he's weak.
I feel like it's this man's responsibility for bringing him back in.
No.
IX Mike.
All credit goes to IX Mike.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. Well done, Mike. I spelled that W-L-E-L, Mike, by the way.
I love playing Abaddon, but even I stole it from Go Black. So.
Oh man, those good times.
Mike's Abaddon.
Yeah, it's definitely an offlane hero. So super strong. Iron Talon hero. If you need to go jungle, it works. He works with the patch. That's what I've noticed about this like patch ever since TI6 is it's very like team fight dependent, and Abaddon is like one of the strongest team fighters out there. So not only does he give you a really strong team fight in terms of like his defensive spells, but he also can you can force the issue with your aura and pushing towers, and your positioning like is doesn't really matter that much because your ultimate's
A bit
very
more forgiving.
very forgiving, and yeah, those things help a lot.
Terrorblade ban, Shadow Fiend ban. So basically just super high damage heroes for cores.
Shadow Fiend ban, we could see Magnus mid potentially.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they're hoping to do something like Jug mid as well, and then that way it's more difficult to gank. It's very common.
Where do you think the Nyx goes?
It's probably offlane, but could be support. Some teams do that. I would maybe I'd like to see something like a strong tri-lane from IG that also gives them a roaming 4. That way they could limit Magnus's experience gain in the jungle. Something like that could be good. Grab an Earth Spirit on the other side, so...
Maybe they watched OG's first game while they were playing. There was a Jarek's spirit in that.
Okay.
For sure. It's Kaka plays our spirit a lot, so definitely like a very signature hero for him. But one thing that IG.V did the last game that they didn't do this game is they immediately saw that Centaur, which now we kind of have Magnus as a replacement, and then they picked Batrider, which ideally kind of lanes very well against Centaur, but they ended up not really forcing that matchup. So they didn't do the same thing here. Nyx doesn't particularly kind of dominate Magnus in a one-on-one matchup, so most likely going to have like that same kind of setup where it's well, they did dual lanes in the last game, but the offlaner is not going to be put in a position to succeed for IG.V, I think.
Did you see Angelize the drafter? I guess they're offlane. Kind of interesting.
Oh, so he's got say.
He's got the little crown. He gets all the glory.
Does he have the button though?
Wonder how he feels about his Batrider pick last game.
That's why he picked it first. He's like, I'm going to play what I want. And I'm going to win the game for us, guys. I like the Warlock pick. It's pretty decent here. It can help secure the offlane as well for Nyx. I don't remember what team that did this, but it was during the qualifiers. But Warlock goes offlane, gets Fatal Bonds level 1. Fatal Bonds the creep wave, so the creep wave dies really fast, and then you do a fast side pull with the large camp to help mess up the creep equilibrium and give Nyx some better laning stage.
Ricky ban.
Yeah, that one's actually very weird.
What's that about?
Maybe with Empower, like roaming Ricky with Empower would just be like kind of strong. I saw one during the qualifiers. I think it was actually China that played it, and it was real good actually. He got super farmed, fast defusal, and just was like a core practically. So yeah, Ricky's a little popular in China right now. We saw it banned a lot actually second round, I think towards the end of the final. Silencer's a very surprising pick here.
Very
Silence
interesting
now.
pick. I don't think I saw a single. And actually, I saw one game in the qualifiers.
Cole picks it a lot for core,
Yeah.
usually. But I think they're the one team I think that picks it a lot, more than anybody
Didn't
else.
see it in any of the China qualifiers though.
I think it's
probably support, right?
No, yeah, definitely support.
Okay.
I think the hero's like actually pretty decent. He lacks lockdown, but in exchange he has silences
And 2 nukes. It's not too bad.
Yeah, he's totally a fine hero. There wasn't really anything like too telling on IG.V to kind of merit the silencer pick in my opinion. So I'm a little concerned for them, but Earth Spirit Silencer is gonna like make anyone on IG.V really want an early BKB, and none of those heroes are kind of BKB heroes so far.
Yeah. I think they just want team fight superiority. It got a little iffy when the Warlock pick came out, so I think they just want something that ensures when they initiate that they can take a fight. It's actually really nice with the Earth Spirit combo, because a lot of times when you Rolling Boulder in, somebody just stuns you, and then your whole combo is done.
It's good for Venge too. That's one time that I always thought about picking silencers up against like a Venge or a Dazzle.
Like against the swap. When you go on somebody and then you global.
And then you global, and then you don't have to worry about those supports are actually like pretty useless, because that's kind of their best use, right? Is saving someone in kind of that instantaneous way.
That's a good point.
And the Beastmaster added for Vitality.
More stunts.
Newbee definitely won the Vision game. Last game with the Caudal and the Ags, so definitely the advantage now for IG.V with the Nyx, Beastmaster, and now the TA traps. So a lot of Vision for IG.V.
They're really good against the Jug split push too. We saw that last game as well. Jug was already shut down just by swap, and now they've got Roar, and they've got Warlock Golem, and they've got Venge swap. So he's going to have to, despite having, because if he has Empower and he can do like spin TPs, he would just be able to abuse lanes all the time and push them out really rapidly.
Yeah, not going to be the case this game.
So we're going to go back to the Ember again for Newbie this time round.
Okay.
It's okay.
Second game in a row. How do you like that?
Nyx is actually not too bad against Ember. It's kind of one of the nice heroes. Beastmaster can be okay if
But
he's
the
able to manage
animation's
the roar.
slow, so it's like hard.
Yeah,
kind of.
you can do a couple things. I think they're they're definitely better prepared
Yeah.
for Ember this game than they were
Yeah.
last game.
Yeah.
Better vision all round.
Yeah, vision definitely helps. Whenever I see that many stuns, I just can't help but pick them in the draft because stuns win games.
There's a lot more direction with these drafts, I think.
I'm gonna go with the left draft this game.
You're going to go with the left
I
draft.
believe
Yeah.
that was IG.V.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Peter, are you sticking with the left? Are you going right?
Um,
Which way are you this time round?
I don't know. I think
No.
KPAI did very well last game, so I'll go with them.
Okay.
Just because I think that this game is going to be very dependent on how fast Magnus is able to get that Blink Dagger, and if he's able to come online before IG.V's push really starts going.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We will come back, of course, to our panel members and find out which one was right and which one was left. But instead, for now, we're going back to our commentary team for Game 2 in our second of our opening games here at DAC.
I noticed the pole didn't actually swing left or right. He went straight down the middle for no opinion.
He wanted to follow Peter. I think it's way more balanced than last game, at least.
It would be easy to follow Peter.
Mm.
But yeah, it does feel that way. Like it seems like IG.V have definitely got a lot more answers to what we're bringing to the table, but it's very difficult to go against a Jug Magnus. Like we've seen it time and time again in both the Europe and the NA qualifiers for Kiev, just how powerful this combination is. It's hard to go against that.
7.04 Magnus, though.
Yeah, still the same.
120 seconds. 20 seconds later is kind of a big deal, but I actually favor Newbee's draft a lot more this game.
If it gets later anyway, what are you going to do? You're just gonna get a refresher orb if the RP is really what you're looking for. But with the double buff ups, like you got both Juggernaut as well as Ember Spirit getting these buffs on top of your Magnus, and we know the way Newbee play. We know that KP always gets a lot of space, time, and farm. So I don't know, man.
I think the silencer is actually what does it for me. I think
Silencer?
like they want to be able to counter initiate with the rock. If you look on the Radiant side, they have decent counter initiation. I think Nyx is great, Vengeful Swap is great, and so is Warlock. But all of these heroes struggle a lot versus silence, and Newbee have doubled down on the silencer and Earth Spirit. So they can fight constantly with the Earth Spirit, and they can fight big team fights with the silencer. And then what do you do after the RP if you can't cast anything on these heroes? These heroes don't buy Greaves. They aren't gonna be farming enough for Yules. How is your TA? And your Venge going to be big enough to actually deal with this? Possibly, possibly not. I do think they need to make use of the Venge and the Beastmaster auras.
Well, this could be a really nice start for Newbee if they can get it. Sakata just wants the rune. But with a simple rolling forward, they can hold him in position and then go for the spin and the curse. So this is enough damage to kill off the Templar Assassin. She doesn't have Refraction or Meld leveled up. Now she'll get the Refraction up, but it's still not enough to survive. U9 gets the last swing of the blade. They'll give the rune over to Kaka, and this means they get double the bounty runes plus the first blood against the Templar Assassin.
As if they needed any more help for SCCC in the mid lane. And this is a skill-based matchup. TA versus the Ember Spirits.
And you really wanted that bottle nice and quickly. And look at SC. He's even going to sentry ward this. There's no dodging of anything. No vision game to be won by Sakata.
Yeah, this is actually going to be real rough for Sakata. He's just not really going to be able to do that much in this, because he already has Poor Man's Shield and the Quelling Blade on SCCC, so got to shut down the Mag. Mag is pretty important. The thing about Mag, though, if you shut him down, he can just level 4 empower and just empower people, and then he can still own, and I think this is why Mag has been so strong. But you don't actually have to have his RP to win games.
No, all you need to do is just get that small little bit of a buff up, and is that wondering, a point where you actually ask, when does IG Vitality go in and try and contest him if he does take off the side lanes? Because right now I'm seeing that quick creep equilibrium on bottom lane being fairly close to the tower. Obviously, KP's never going to win this lane because he's up against a Warlock. Warlock just wins at life.
I think to answer your early question, I think you need Angelite to get level 6. Once he gets level 6, smoke, get a kill, push with aura, and then you keep steamrolling towers. That was one of their biggest issues last game, is not taking towers, and I think they have good ways to hit towers. Vengeful Spirit and Beastmaster auras combined is just incredibly synergistic and incredibly good at melting T1s, and they don't have Keeper on the other team. So life is good for IG.V.
If they can hit that timing, if they don't fall behind, I'll let Newbee get in front. It definitely does help when you have the Earthspirit already having to trigger his salve. He rolled in very aggressively into the entire Radiant creep wave. and took a lot of damage to try and zone out a Nyx Assassin, who took almost no damage. He got a double stun on the 2 supports.
Kaka rolling in from the left side. He rolled across the cliff and is able to steal the boundary. That's a kind of cool play from the Earth Spirit. Shut down that off lane as much as you can, and there is going to be a boar over there. Kaka, is he good? No.
Just wants the money.
He hasn't actually skilled his second skill yet. I'm surprised. Usually you just see automatic boulder smash skilled. He just picked it up. I mean, 100 gold, would you kill the boar for, sorry, 100 mana?
It seems like a good trade-off as long as the Templar Assassin wasn't going to explode on you. But it looked like SDC had Sakata pretty much occupied. But now they saves the mana, rolling boulders forward. They do actually have the kick, and that'll be the kill. So Templar Assassin, the second death.
Okay, yeah, the Sakata is, it's going to be so tough for him. Again, they don't really have that great of defensive capabilities for him because Swap is great, but they have global to counter. So if they want to all in on TA like they all in on the OD last game, I don't think that IG.V can do anything about it in the team fights. But you know, I think that Radiant side want the way more like hectic team fights. You want Nyx Assassin get in there, people fatal bonds. So
Well, they get the chaos, right? Like with the second that rock falls, like how do you even really properly take the fight if you're a newbie?
It just depends who gets the jump. Like generally, you know, some games is like, oh, whoever gets the jump first. You know, it's more about the counter initiation. In this game, I actually think it's more about who just straight up gets the jump. If you get a global at a good time with the RP, I think the fight is just straight over. Whereas if you have Nyx Assassin like interrupting the back lines with like a roar and a rock drop down, and then a global comes out, I think that IG.V easily win that fight.
You got an Earth Spirit trying to make a move in behind once again, but the Beastmaster Hawk or Boar, I believe it was scouted him out.
He's actually not that farmed on Injuly. I see level like level 4 or 5s on Beastmaster at this point. Sometimes like you see levels like a 5-minute smoke. They did increase the experience that you need for level 6, so maybe like 5.5 minutes would be more the timing for Beastmaster. But he just hit level 4 because he was trying to help Sakata in the mid lane. But I mean, it's just a Beastmaster. I think you help him by getting level 6 and then roaring a lane.
You'll have to help out some other lanes too soon. Nyx Assassin's not having the greatest time in the world. He's got 4 CS up on that top lane, but it also helps the fact that Juggernaut has 18 denies on that top lane, really keeping it back and keeping it away from the Nyx Assassin. And he's had a lot of help. The support's been right on top of him. Faith has made sure that Dogfights has not had an easy way just to run forward and leech up experience. But in saying that, you're still only holding him at the high end of level 3.
Juggernaut does not have Red Archon. Only 9 Omni/kills. Come on, you 9. One more game.
Disgusting. God, SC's going to be careful with that. Took a lot of damage from Side Blades just then.
How's he going to die, though? What's Warlock going to do?
Nothing.
What is Beastmaster going to do? Beastmaster is not 6. He's still level 4. So.
It's harass him off the lane, I think, is the primary thing. Just give space for the Templar Assassin to continue to fight. But while you're doing this, the Beastmaster can go back into jungle and farm up. The Magnus is already doing the same kind of thing.
They need this game to speed up, though, for the Radiant side. I think generally with Venge Core, you want the games to be a little bit faster. And
What, do you do that by pushing the bottom lane?
You can do it by pushing bottom lane. You get Aquila up. He's buying his Ring of Basilius right now. And then things can happen pretty soon. But I think things have been slowed down a lot because they've had to devote way too many resources to TA in the mid lane. They're just constantly worried about him.
But if you don't do that, then TA gets a lot of momentum behind her.
Oh, no.
And then TA carries your game.
No, it is. I definitely think is really good for Newbee. IG.V have to like keep the Beastmaster around there. They have to keep the Warlock around there to kind of make sure that she doesn't chain feed. But I think if they speed up their other lanes, then she can just go Ancient Farm while the 4 push tower. I actually think they're strong enough as 4 to push towers kinda soon. But Nyx also needs his levels. Dogfights 0-0-0 on the top lane. Decent score, but not too great in the experience.
Once Super has his 6, then that's when I'll expect IG Vitality to start doing something. Like, they can start chipping away at the bottom. The fact that Magnus is completely gone from the bottom lane, it's a completely free lane for the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, they want to pull, though, because Warlock's behind in experience.
Yeah.
They, again, they didn't have alone time on bottom. Super had to help out Sakata in the mid lane.
KB's getting pretty close to finishing up Arcanes as well. Do we just go for the standard build on the Magnus as well, just like Arcanes into straight up Blink, or is there something better to get on a Magnus when you run him on the off lane in this game?
Just because his two other cores are like really strong melee cores that just need Empower, I think that's perfectly okay. Also, he is their main anti-pusher. You are very concerned about IG.V pushing into you this game if you're Newbee. So you want, like, if you go like treads, you might not have the mana to sustain like a constant shockwave spam to push out the towers.
Oh, nice rolling boulder, but better on the double stun plus by Carapace that helps set it up. How do you gank a Nyx Assassin off lane? It shows you the reason why they looked to ban him out in the early phases in game 1 of this series.
They would have had him had he not had that Observer Ward over there. He wouldn't have been able to react with the Carapace. He would just stun him while. So the push comes out, and Newbee are quick to respond. They do not want to give any towers up.
There's 3 heroes that come to bottom lane to stop this, but the Beastmaster Hawk already saw Kaka in the tree line.
Doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it. You can't wrap around. Nyx isn't 6, and they don't have a rock yet, so you can't just kind of zerg them at the tower. So,
but is this still a win? Like you pulled the mid laner off, you brought most of them down to the bottom lane.
I think slowing down the game is good for Newbee. If this is just a stalemate, both heroes just like stare at each other, I think it's better for Newbee because Magnus scaling with Empower is just going to be way greater and way faster. And TA's already in Struggle City, and yeah, she's going to catch back up at some point, but she still has to deal with Ember Spirit. I think Ember Spirit's like really good at dealing with her. They have Magnetize, they have Flame Guard, like spin all these sources of damage constantly. Refraction is very, very useless in this situation defensively.
Is that when you see her build up more strength style items in the early phase? Or do you still need to go for like the Blink Dazzle? You still need to make her a murderer?
It's always Blink Dazzle. I'm not even a TA player, but I don't think I've seen TAs not go Blink Dazzle. I guess sometimes people go Pike or Lance or something like that, but I think it was like experimented with sometimes. It was like, why didn't I just go Blink Dazzle?
Newbee rotation, perfect timing, double silencers up, and welcome to a +2 for Faith. -2 for a Warlock.
Now IG.V, they tried a push. They didn't even really get good damage on the tower.
Did they actually lose their bottom tier 1 tower for it?
They are on the defensive. This is not a lineup that you want to be on the defensive with, except for TA. TA is like, you know, whatever, just get her items up. But the other 4, they're not really able to do anything. No ulti yet on Nyx Assassin, no ulti yet on Warlock, and they are trying to push, but it's just not the way that they want it. This is not a swift game from them. They have 0 kills. They have very little tower damage. There's nothing, you know, kind of really sparking for them. And I think they have a game plan. It's just not really able to come together. Or there's a smoke wrap around behind the tower. You need to cut them off from the shrine. If you just push in, they'll just take the fight close to the left side of the tower and then shrine up and then just fight you.
But the wraparound doesn't come until you have the Nyx Assassin at level 6.
No, you can wrap around with a Beastmaster.
Just do it with him?
He's great. You have the Hawk to scout out ahead of you. You have the Roar to keep them in place so they can't move. You have like a decent amount of burst with your team, hopefully, with the right clicks, with the Vengeful Spirit, and they just need to be able to kill heroes, take a tower. Just very, very swift, very, very quick, and just do that. Like, he's farmed. Now it's 10 minutes in, he's just level 6, and he hasn't been able to take down any towers with his Beastmaster, or even really get any tower damage. And he's finally going to smoke right now. And
yep, here it comes.
So they need to kill the hero that is stopping the push, but it's both Mag and Silencer.
That looks like indecision. Like that they go almost across the river to reach the Dire Shrine on bottom, and then they change direction and head north instead.
Yeah, it's just not swift, clear cut, like very fast decision making. Like smoking are, you know, some of them are decided like 1 or 2 seconds.
They're arriving on top when they have another 5 seconds left on the smoke.
Oh, here they go. Will they be able to kill
the Observer sees U9, so the Roar is out. He gets the spin off, however. You'll get a lot of hits in with the meld, so the negative armor on the Juggernaut. He's not a healthy man. The healing ward might actually give him the life back up against Super. Okay, it doesn't matter. They'll hit him again. They'll pick up the healing ward. And IG Vitality, they needed that. They needed that badly.
Yeah, they really did. Our Spirit with a really good kick there to hope Jug can survive. He is going to be up in 15 seconds time. Can they make the most out of this? It is actually only level 2 Inner Beast on to the Beastmaster. I see 0-2-4, I would say a little bit more commonly, and I think it would be a little bit better for their quest to take down towers, but looks like Newbee swift on the retaliation.
Yep, they're looking to push into that mid tower. Again, you've got the Warlock rock up, but while he's silenced, he can't get it off. Maybe the space is created. Now the rock will drop, and the Flutter Bonds connects him. SC jumps out, but he's straight back in again. Straight up swap by Paparazzi. So the Vengeful Spirit finds the kill, and that Spirit was not meant to be there, I don't think.
No, he had another Spirit. He just missed click on the Spirit. He clicked on the Closer Spirit. That happens. He was really, really low, probably spam clicking on the thing. But looks like IG Vitality able to take possibly 2 towers, maybe even 3. I don't think they're going to get 3, but they're getting damage, good damage on the top tower. Magnus is there.
Yeah, the top, they're just forcing it out. So it's in July, as well as Sakata teaming up there, rolling Boulder in towards the mid. The silence is out in the Warlock. Remember, they do still have the Golem up, but they don't have the stun, but the double stun from Dogfights basically ravage, and 3 of them connected by Fatal Bonds. They've got to be careful. The Earth Spirit's going to die here with the silencer if they're not careful. All that damage SC is taking, you got no way for Kaka to escape. And now SC, the man who only died once in the previous game, is going to add a notch to his belt of own death.
That upheaval, though.
Yep. Unable to run. Level... okay.
This is
Even level
really good.
3 upheaval.
They took down the really 2 important towers for the Roshan control onto IG.V. And TA did not have a good start, but now number 2 on net worth, and this is kind of exactly what they wanted. And there was a good smoke into Roar, into tower, into another tower, into 2 Ember kills. And that's really just good momentum for them. Templar Assassin closing in on her key items over here. They finally got all their ultimates up, made really good use in their Fertile Golem, and now they need the Magnus to do something. Magnus has been really quiet, has been farming the entire time, has not been there to shockwave defend the towers, was not there for a counter RP on top, and because you allotted a lot of time for him, you need him to be able to have some sort of impact. U9 in a little bit of danger there. Where is their follow-up?
Be careful with those Ancients as well, because those Ancients make life very difficult. Take so much damage. U9 goes into the ulti, but one more hit from Dogfights will do it. You just lost your Juggernaut farming up. Faith will see him. There's no stun that will come in time.
I'm not sure what he uses stun on, but it is not up.
But at the same time, SD did kill off the Templar Assassin, so it's TA for a Juggernaut as the trade-off.
Fair trade. I would actually say TA is a little bit more valuable. Juggernaut already died that one time on top and still struggling a little bit.
For the man with the best CS in the game at the start, now he's sitting at the 4th highest net worth. Vengeful Spirit leading the way at 6.4, 6.5k.
I'm actually surprised they didn't try and threaten Roche pretty soon after. Like they were already right all around there. They did have the auras up, and Vengeful Spirit going for a little bit of an unusual build. The Hand of Midas.
It's full. I say it was a full carry venge. Is the best way to describe that.
Normally you'll just see Helmet Dom though. Helmet Dom is like incredibly good, but
here they go for Roshan. So they're trying to make the most out of that early Templar Assassin negative armor, combining it with the Vengeful Spirit. Not to mention their output of damage is insanely high. They'll bring in Dogfights as well, but Newbee, they're well aware of this. SC sitting around there. Goes to Global Silence, a huge magnetize, catching IVG. How are you meant to get out of that? With a spin in, the rock will drop. It needs to create more space. Maybe they do with the Fatal Bonds, but who's left alive to dish out the damage? You buy back on the Nyx Assassin, and Paparazzi swaps him out. He goes for the steal on Roshan Radiant. They did kill off Roshan. The Fatal Bond still holds him there. They can't run away. They're all too slow. Upheaval is doing so much work here. KP will jump in. He'll get the last swing out, but they need to stop Super so they can finally start moving, and time is just their friend there. SC with a Searing Chains. He walks away on 40 HP. Super will survive through all of that, but that was a bit of a mess.
Radiant ended up getting the Roshan kill. KP snatched the Aegis, and what a beautiful ultimate display by
We get to see
Kaka.
it again.
Yeah, the global. Oh my god, look at that. Everyone. Oh my goodness,
It's
that
the
was beautiful.
perfect kick, the perfect silence. It's
Yeah.
crazy how much space the dogs fight seem to create. Like the second he got that spike Carapace off, like lost his life, had to buy it back straight away, but allowed Super to get his combo off.
That was a really nice try to swap in, and they couldn't take the Aegis. KP skewered in at that exact moment, and Paparazzi, he's dead, but he has to try and get as much damage in as possible. Got that healing ward gold at least. Yo, it's 75 gold, 75 XP. That's one hit. That's some value, dude.
That fight would have been so much better for IG Vitality if they can get that last 40 points of damage into the Ember Spirit and actually drop him. But
Yeah, I still think they did not do it at the right time. I think after they took down the mid team, when they should have immediately won, because Ember Spirit was dead. Ember Spirit, he took down I think 2 heroes during the Global Silence, and without the Ember Spirit, they actually don't have that much burst. Like Juggernaut's like okay, but he's not super strong right now. He just had a Yasha I think at that point. Empower was level 4, but he's not going to be able to like right click people super hard. They still have to deal with like the refraction and all this other stuff. And without the Ember Spirit, it wouldn't have been that great of a fight for them. But it just you know, it's just not really clear, quick, decisive movements from IG Vitality, and they're getting punished because Newbee has so much time to set up and think about it.
Well, this time it's Newbee on the hunt. Dogfights the neighborhood. Quick refraction up from Sakata. Blinks away, so the rolling boulder will miss. Paparazzi waits in the tree lines with SC coming in. They can see him thanks to the Observer Ward, but Global Silence, it'll be triggered again. And what do you really do against this? Dogfights on the run. The Spike Carapace does nothing to a spinning up U9. And IG Vitality, they lose 3 to a 5-man gank that arrives from Newbee on the top lane.
That's rough.
And maybe I actually called it incorrectly. Do we actually pass 2 minutes since the last fight? Or was Global Silence not used in the last engagement?
Global Silence was definitely used.
Yeah, I thought it was. So we did just pass 2 minutes. Time flies by when you have to do good Dota.
That's super rough for IG Vitality. But the thing is, they can't even do anything in between the ultimates. They use RP and Global Silence. Normally it's like, okay, yeah, let's do something. But what do they actually do? Do you really want to like take a smoke right now with a rock? Your window is just tiny. They have, what, like 70 seconds to do so, maybe, before RP and everything else is up. If you get a kill on Silencer, who cares? They, you know, they're still constantly killing the cores on the side of IG Vitality.
How many minuses do we have on the field now? KP picks up his. You've got one from Paparazzi, one from the Warlock. So 3 in total, and it looks like, okay, no one else should be buying a Midas. Everyone else is going more standard.
I don't necessarily like it on the Vengeful Spirit, just because I think their lineup is supposed to push early, because I think late game you just do not want to go against Magnus, Juggernaut, Ember. You push high ground, you will just get destroyed. And
unless it's like some big item he's looking at that you'll need to have like at the right timing, like an Aghanim Scepter or something like that. In July is going to find the Silencer out of position. SC's in the neighborhood, but the stuns and control is more than enough. Okay, Paparazzi, he wants to go for the extra one, looking for SC, but he's still so slowed up with a following stun. A quick Ember Spirit jump away. Do they have another controlling ability? The Necrobooks are moving forward. That will burn off.
oh, he's just stole that 150 Necro Gold. Oh my goodness.
He needed it. The Blink Dagger was essential. The Blink Dagger was essential.
He did need it for Blink Dagger, but still, when you see that as a core, you're just like, really?
It's for the greater good.
Affirmative.
Yeah, but maybe it's a bigger item on the Vengeful Spirit he's looking for, so you need to have like those 2 big items going into like the mid-game fight.
That is...
he
could have had it if he didn't go for the Midas. He's going for BKB after the Dragonlance, which is pretty decent. You can BKB out of the global, maybe swap someone out, but I mean, if 2 or 3 people get caught in the RP, they really need like a rock to save them. And Warlock, it looks like he is going to be able to get some items. He's going Greaves. I do like the Greaves over the Scepter on the Warlock. You need a way to get out of the Global Silence.
Yeah.
And, he is, I think, clearly the best counter initiator to RP, because dropping a rock is way better than a roar or one hero getting defensively swapped out. So you need to be able to prevent people from getting cleaved down during the I actually see this like way too often. Like, you have to itemize against Silencer. If you get like Lotuses and Greaves, the hero, you just feel useless in Silencer. It's like, oh, what if I pop my ulti? They're just all going to pop their cooldowns, and then they're just going to crush us with it. So, yeah, and I do like this from them. However, I am still concerned for their team fight control, especially before the Greaves, or if like Warlock gets caught in the RP or something like that, which he generally should not be.
IG Vitality just TP in to the bottom. They scanned just to the southeast of the tier 2 tower in mid and got a hit. So they're assuming there's a lot more of Newbee still on the bottom lane. Now, Templar Assassin is not here. She can TP in. She's got that fresh Desolator as well as Blink Dagger, but it's not here in the fight. So Dogfights skewered back out. There goes your Silence once again. And Nyx Assassin just trapped on the wrong side of the tracks. TP now comes in from Sakata, so he can join the engagement. The rock will drop with the Feather Bonds connecting them up. So Faith, as well as the Ember Spirit, they're both going to fall here, unable to run away. Upheaval is the biggest problem when the RP from KP, maybe you can create a little bit more space, but the spin was still down. They have the damage output required. U9 will fall. The Templar Assassin did the work, and now we'll move on to the extra supports. Stick Charges will give a little bit here to Kaka, but they'll swap him back out again, try and block the path. The damage is more than enough, and IG Vitality will be victorious on the bottom lane fight.
And they were very happy with that, sacrificing swap and global for the Nyx Assassin. RP, it looks like it was cast. I didn't actually see it, but it definitely was not cast during the like Ember Spirit getting bursted down. That's when they really need it. I'm not sure who stopped the blink on Kaka or whether or KP, or whether it was just not up from the blink skewer.
We can have a look again and actually see if we can see it. So there's the first skewer back. Now the RP happened a little bit further to the north.
Yeah, they were able to kill the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit, he goes in, he expects KP to able to RP right here. Right here is when you need the RP.
But there's the rock.
The rock, and KP's like standing there, like, what do I do over here? And everyone just dies.
And now everyone's there. It's like, okay, I'll just RP now.
Yeah, he got the one RP out, but Ember Spirit's already dead, and that is really rough. Sakata had a haste rune during that fight and was just very happy just cleaning up.
I think he had a boar on the back of him, so he's getting slowed down by that as well as, okay, quick jump away by the Spirit.
Oh, he wants to get back to the shrine because he's worried that the last hit's going to kill him, but didn't do that much. I think he had like 250 HP. He might have been okay, but better safe than sorry. He does have a fair amount of armor with the Veil and the Aquila, but
here's that push time you're talking about from IG Vitality. So you take a fight, and this time they actually take objectives. So you've managed to remove all the Tier 1 towers of Newbee from the field. Of course, it's a straight trade-off. It's 3 Tier 1s for 3 Tier 1s.
Where are the big RPs from KP? KP is very farmed right now, though.
Well, he has his Blink Yules. It's enough to work with.
It's enough to work with, but Boar, like all these like Necro books on the field, Fatal Bonds is sometimes you just get hit by random stuff, like the Chaotic Offering that he might have to worry about in the team fight. But now Roche is about to respawn. It is almost going to be instantaneous, actually, just 30 seconds after the last one. Dogfight, ready to go. They need more damage, though.
Support's going to be there. Is coming just a little bit further away in the form of the Beastmaster, but it won't be there in time.
I think it's a good time to do Roche right about now, right when Global is down, and looks like Newbee, they are grouped up, poised to smoke up, and they have a lot of agility on U9. He has Diffusal and Manta, so a fair amount of agility. You generally want to go agility builds with the RP and Empower, and here they go. This is a big fight.
Yep, they look for their opening. And they're going to find it. Dogfights is the first one. The Observer Ward. Actually, they break the smoke already. So IG.V gets some space, but they push him out with a rock drop once again. Will it be enough? The Raw Templar Assassin, she's dropping quickly and will go down. No buyback is available. And with the Fall Suns and upheaval, can Newbee still come out on top of this one? You put Paparazzi in the front lines, looking to SC. No Flame Guard to really... She will protect him long enough to get a Sleight of Fist off in July. The Spirit jump forward. SC's going to get more. A triple kill for him. And the Searing Chains. Nyx Assassin, there's no extra stun available from him. An ultra kill for the Ember Spirit. And will they give him the Rampage? She's just kicking him around into it. There she is. A Rampage and even the taunt from KP in the middle of it. IG Vitality lose the whole kit and caboodle just as Roshan comes up.
You know what I was talking about earlier when IG Vitality are not swift? I think Newbee, they are so much quicker. They're like, we know what they're going to do. They knew that they were going to go to Roshan. I was like, okay, we beat our global, let's do it. And they were just way faster than that. And then they swapped the TA, and before she even got into the pit, annihilated her. Where was the swap coming out from them? The Raw came out, but they just did not have enough left to help out that Templar Assassin. And they want to fight very convincingly without global because they were so fast. It's like, okay, let's head up here, let's smoke, let's go there right now. And they were there within, what, 20 seconds maybe of the global being down. It was incredibly fast for them.
Now it's going to be Newbee. They are going to bypass Roshan, so they're not going to take it themselves. They're happy taking the towers instead.
They don't have a good Roche lineup. Juggernaut is mediocre. Ember Spirit, probably the worst core, worst mid core at taking Roche.
Well, we can have a quick look at it again. So that whole started like with the smoke being broken on Newbee.
Oh, that stun. Oh, the stun from Kaka. That's what stopped the swap from Vengeful Spirit. Oh, man. Poor Paparazzi, he was going in for the swap onto Sakata. That's the only way they could have salvaged that fight right there.
Just the damage output, and you could see him begging to do it. Like the Fatal Bonds was connecting Newbee up quite nicely, but they just never found enough of it.
Also, Necrobook might not have been the best choice for the Beastmaster this game. You don't want more units when there's Empower. You don't want them to get all clean. Like, there's 4 units right there. Like,
we're straight back live now. As Faith's on the run, there goes your RP, catching up the BKB Templar Assassin. She can't go anywhere. Down once again, the Silencer is the only casualty of war for Newbee, and they're looking for another kill. Moving down towards Dogfights, and SC leading the charge, looking for a double kill, going to find it more and more. Going his way, 12, 3, and 7 on his Ember Spirit, and they brought back an extra one to the party. Paparazzi skewered back in by KP, and giving the triple kill to SC. It's all for the glory of the Spirit of Ember.
Welcome to playing against Magnus, where no item is going to save you from just getting RP'd and crushed. You have to have a really good team built to deal against RP. Like he has defensive items. He has the blink and he has a BKB, but he just gets RP'd and just right click down during BKB. Like, okay, what are you supposed to do about that?
Really don't know. I don't even know how you're going to attack someone if that Earth Spirit is ever allowed to complete up his Aghanim Scepter. Anyone you want to initiate on, there's the save that comes in from the ES.
Yeah, it's the Vengeful Spirit build. I think it's real. It's probably tilting Sakata right now. It's like, I need swap. Like, I can't do anything in these fights, but he can't get swapped out because he doesn't have the right items to do so. He doesn't even have Pike to get in position. He doesn't have a Helm of Dom to help in the earlier push so they can get more items. He doesn't have a Manta style to get rid of a silence, the global silence, for example. Like, he actually has not itemized against the silencer at all, and that is very problematic for Sakata, who wrecked in that one team fight. But after that, again, Newbee figured out, hey, Sakata's the only one doing stuff in the team fight. Let's just kill him and blow everything on him. Why not? Because that's how they won last game.
Look at that Beastmaster with his build too. 20 experience, negative 35 in the respawn time. It's like, I'm just going to try and make the most out of what I've got and just come back to life as soon as I possibly can.
His level 25 talent's really good, but I don't
It may take him a while to get there.
120 damage.
He still doesn't have that Blink Dagger. Like, we've seen the Blink Daggers picked up after like level 1 Necro book, but he finished the entire book to push.
Yeah, they're just going to cleave down though. Like they have to win team fights with it, but they're not winning team fights with it. So
yeah, well, the only way to win that is like the blink in to raw to Necro pop and take the mana away before the fight even begins.
Yeah.
But then you have to be the aggressors. And right now, the only way IG Vitality seem to be taking a fight is the counter initiation. You drop the rock, put down the Photo Bonds, you put up the upheaval, and watch Newbee basically crawl like worms. But those worms can bite.
They hit really hard. They're empowered worms.
Yep. That was a fantastic game.
Worm was pretty
that
cool.
That worm has a rocket launcher.
Reminds me of
crap.
Earthworm Jim. I love
Earthworm Jim was amazing.
That game was great. I like the music too. It was nice.
Earthworm Jim had an amazing soundtrack, no doubt about it. Classic history of games. But we're living in a modern world now.
They are, I think, probably 1-5-0 away from just flat out losing the game. So
yep.
Well,
this will definitely help if they can get the stun. Kaka was trying to dodge it. I think a global silence for this. Support's TPing in, but Kaka's going to be dead before it really happens. And the global silence burn in July actually may survive through this one. U9, he triggered off his big ultimate to get it, but the RP on the back lines, they're going to lose so much. SC's in the front lines too. Paparazzi's gone. he's godlike does not describe him at the moment. He is beyond all things that are godly. The Sakata can get one thing in return as the kill over on Faith. Rocks to create a little bit more space. In goes the Templar Assassin. Another jump forward. KP's waiting for it. Just waiting invis. But this Templar Assassin's on the run. Diffusal Blade to go. The Raw to create more space, but it won't happen. KP will find the kill of the Templar Assassin. SC, he'll add another one to his marker. In July to fall, and Super no way to run. Slowed up by Diffusal Blade. The Tier 3 towers haven't even gone down yet, and it is GG. Newbee will take their first series with a commanding 2-0 victory and topping themselves into the group.
Damn, that one Roshan fight for Newbee. Whew, that's one to write home about right there.
That's
some good Earth Spirit play.
That's a nice game of confidence, but still, I wonder if we ask, was Newbee really tested in this series?
I would say no.
Yeah.
The draft and overall just play from IG Vitality. Like this patch is all about getting stuff done before 20 minutes. First Blood for IG.V came out, I don't even know, like 11, 12 minutes maybe?
It took
9,
a while.
10?
Like and they're the ones who were running the Vengeful Spirit early, right? Like they were the ones who were meant to get it. They were the ones who were meant to be out the front lines. But when they lost the Templar Assassin on the rune.
Yeah, and Beastmaster was just way too slow at doing anything. They got towers later, but not at the time that they wanted. So it was a nice try by them. Newbee looking pretty good, better drafts, more meta-ish, you know.
Well, it's funny. The panel was actually thinking maybe IG Vitality had more answers. Those answers seem to come up short, boys. What went wrong?
Yes, they did indeed. Thank you very much, Toby and Malini, for the game coverage. And Newbee have swept IG.V 2-0 for their first game of the day and picked up for their first 3 points as well. We'll get the answers to those questions as well. Peter, where did it go wrong? Or did it even begin to go right?
Yeah, that's the thing, is nothing really ever kind of got started for IG.V, which was disappointing because we did say in the draft that we kind of liked, or at least I kind of liked, that they had some direction. Whereas in like game 1, I feel like maybe they were lacking a bit. Yeah, just a lot of misplays, a lot of lost lanes, and things just never really. I mean, we talked about KPI potentially, maybe having a slow start on Magnus and the vision advantage from IG.V.
Yeah.
Working for them, but KPI was like, he had a Midas, a Blink, a Yules, like he was so farmed at like, 15 minutes or something, or 20 minutes. And
This fight was really the crucial moment here. IG Vitality got a couple good engagements before this with upheaval and stuff like that, but the global silence just perfectly countered their team, which was IG wanted to group as 5, maybe get some advantage, take Roche and start pushing towers. But because the Newbee ended up winning in this team fight, it really just messed up all the tempo that IG Vitality wanted to go for.
Silencer is really good against Venge. That's what, I mean, Merlini was talking about it over and over. The Venge, even as like a core position, he just wasn't able to cast any of his spells in team fights, and he just had like 0 impact. As he's the highest net worth here, and he arguably did almost nothing in this team fight.
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult for him to have impact.
So we saw Vengeful Spirit in both of these games. Definitely a popular pick. I think it's a good hero. And we'll probably see more of it throughout the tournament. We'll just have to look out and see if Silencer is going to get picked up by anyone else.
Yeah,
it was a great counter, wasn't it?
It was good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Even before he had Global Silence, he was still decent at laning. He went 3-0-2 build just to have some good impact. This was actually a good fight for IG Vitality here. Faith definitely very out of position due to the TP from Cicada. And I think Super played amazing on the Warlock whole game. I really liked his choice to go for upheaval. You can see how impactful it was in fights like these too. IG.V had a mobility advantage in the early game, so putting upheaval on top of that and being able to like swap people back into it was really cool.
He played well as Crystal Maiden in game 1 as well. So
yeah.
Definitely some huge support ultimates from him in this series. But IG.V just looked, we weren't sure how good they were. It just seems like they weren't really on the same level as Newbee, at least, which is...
And then we had our first rampage of the tournament in game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was this fight, I believe.
Yeah, it is this fight.
It was such a good play from Newbee to take this fight. The global silence was down, but what they did was they just isolated the TA with RP, pulled her all the way back, and then they just killed her when she was separated.
Yeah, Malerney mentioned that the Earth Spirit Kaka actually kicked a boulder into Venge and stopped Venge from being able to swap out the TA from the RP, which was a huge play, whether it was intentional or not. It was, definitely a game-winning play from him. And this is more like, at this point, it's like desperation. Like, they're just trying to find a fight and get something done.
Yeah.
But look at this TA just omni-slashed and destroyed.
I can't even tell what went on there. There's so many animations.
I think it's the jug. It's the jug.
Or those crits from illusions, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, it gets a little. It's like a little astrally kind of like reminds me of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Spawned some creeps in here to try to limit what Omni does and trying to hit the backline. But again, same thing. Just RP with as many remnants as they can. And at that point, it's just Faith running in circles, being like, "Go ahead, guys, try to kill me."
Yeah.
Very comprehensive display from Newbee.
KPI looked comfortable. That was like, he's like the big question mark for me with this team, and I mean, he looks like he's bringing it. But we'll see how they do throughout the rest of the groups. I think, like we said, Group A is a little questionable. Maybe Newbee is kind of like maybe Newbee might be one of the winner bracket teams.
Yeah. We'll certainly see it. We'll take a look at the stat screen in just a minute as well. We'll talk about MVP too. How do you separate an MVP in this one?
It's tough. The game 2 was like a very dominant performance from all of their players, as you can see. I think KPI, like overall in the whole series, did really well, and SCC is super flashy and high kills and everything. So it's hard to give it to anyone, but for me, like the most valuable player is the one that's gonna determine whether they win or lose, and for me, that's just KPI.
Right.
Yeah, he had a lot of really crucial RPs, especially the one where they caught the TA after the global silence was huge. His RPs later on 2 cores consistently, just being able to stay alive and getting those disables off and having your allies there to back you up was crucial, because that's 2 deaths and you can't win a fight after that.
The offlaner is just such a huge impact role, and it has been for so long. And it's just any player that, because they're oftentimes like the initiator. They're the ones that determine how fights go down, and we see fights that a team's winning, or a team is like winning by a lot, but they get poor initiation and they lose the fight. So if you're like offlaner, your initiator is like playing really, really well and really stable and solid, you can go a long way.
I think having had such a good set of qualifiers over the last month, Vitality must be disappointed with the start of today. I mean, they want to bounce back very quickly later on.
Yeah, and they have a lot of opportunities to do so. It's only the first series. Group A is, not as strong potentially, we think. So they'll get a lot of other games against a lot of other teams, and they'll have an opportunity to bring it back.
Yeah, and they looked good in the Kiev qualifiers, but again, that's the qualifiers. The better teams are probably already invited, so it's that same thing. The teams that win the qualifiers look amazing, but once they actually get to the event or TI or whatever, they look a lot worse usually. So might be a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, might be a little bit of that. We're heading towards a break right now, but when we come back, our second series of the day will be underway. We'll be getting into IG versus Team Liquid, a first chance to look at both teams here at the DAC. Don't go too far away. We'll see you soon.